What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? Your boy King Jaffe Joe 413 back with another one.
I
How you guys doing? Chilling? You already know me chilling like always. All right, so today we down in the basement, you know what I'm saying? If you've seen the last video about the wheel rings, I did the wheel ring install. I might have told you that I had to redo the wheel rings, make the lights, redo the lights because the lights were doo-doo. This here is me redoing the lights. You know what I'm saying? You might see this video, you might not, because I know the members will see this video. So I want to shout out to my 3 members that I got so far. Boss, ZR2DS, that's CO3 Boss. That's just Boss. You know what I'm saying? Erica Bell and my man Pipe Game, my man Earl. Yo, shout out to you three members I got. You guys see stuff that everybody else don't see, uncut footage. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't get to see what y'all see. You know what I'm saying? Y'all a special group of people. So shout out to y'all. But so like I said, I had to change the lights in the real wings. So this is me changing the lights. So first, let me explain the difference of the lights that we got here. You know what I'm saying? So first, if you look down at these lights right here, right? You're looking at these lights. First of all, you see these ones right here. These are the lights we took off. So the problem with these lights are, you want to know what the problem was? First of all, there was only one light on a wheel ring. So one that went around the outside. Usually there's one on the outside and the inside. So that's one problem. Second problem with the light was it was too long. So they went around it, and then it went around one whole time. In a certain spot, it doubled up like this. You know what I'm saying? So since it doubled up like this, it had more light in certain spots. So it would look good. Which these are cuttable ones, so they could have cut these at the spot and then sealed it in. Number 3 was at the sealable end, the cuttable end where you can cut it. They cut it, but they did not put a rubber over it, so it was open. So these are IP67, so that's why it has a case. That's the difference of these. These are 65. These are water resistant. These are a little more water resistant because these are 67s. The 67s are a little more water resistant, but it won't be more water resistant if the end of it is open, just like this. You know what I'm saying? How's the end going to be open? You know what I'm saying? So those would have shorted out in no time, right? So that was the 3 reasons I didn't want to put these on there. You know what I'm saying? My man Boss, he would be on top of his shit. You know what I'm saying? When his shit stopped working, he's on my ass. Like, yo, this is not working. I need this fixed ASAP. Then boom. You know what I'm saying? So I like to catch these problems. When I get products, I like to catch these problems off the jump. You know what I'm saying? Because I'd rather have bike get fixed the right way when it leaves here, so I don't got to have it coming back. You know what I'm saying? For that problem. I like it to come back for other problems because, you know what I'm saying? I don't like like, for some reason, he would have brought it back and I would have fixed the wheel rings for free because, you know what I'm saying? I feel bad. You know what I'm saying? But bring it back. All right, so but looking at this, if you're looking at these lights, so you see the difference. This is a 67 IP, which is a little more water resistant than this one, but we're not driving in the water. So 65 is going to be perfectly fine. If you look at the density of the lights, you can see the lights are lining up the same. The light density is the same, but you're probably noticing that the one that we're putting under new has a silver spot, a copper spot between each light instead of every 3. That's because these lights are individual addressable. So when you do patterns, it's going to be a lot smoother. These lights, they run in 3 groups of 3. So this would be like if you're running a row that changes colors, this is going to be blue. These 3 are going to be blue, and then these are going to be red when it changes. You know what I'm saying? So if it was like a long line of red, it would probably be like 9 red. When it gets to the neck goes to blue, it's going to be 3 blue, 3, 3, 3. You probably don't notice it when you're using them because you don't notice it. But these ones are individual addressable. So it's 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Each one is a certain color. You know what I'm saying? So you could do a lot smoother modes. The modes can be a lot smoother when they're running, and you can just do different stuff with them like that. So these are not ones, or nor these are ones that have white, a dedicated white light, which you can get those, and I can do those as well. But these don't have the dedicated white light. So what these kind of ones are is when they want white, it turns all the colors on bright as possible, and that gives you a bluish white kind of, but it's white. It's the white that you get. But but the thing about the ends of this is, so this right here, where the end, if they would have cut this, right, just cut it in the right spot so it wasn't overlapping like so, and just bought some of these right here from Amazon, and stuck one of these on the end with some glue, you know what I'm saying? That would have protected that, you know what I'm saying? And then if they was cut like that, and then with this on the end, I probably wouldn't have had no problem with that. I would have had a little problem because there would only been one light on the wheel ring, but customer purchases like that, it's not my problem, you know what I'm saying? Really, that's not my problem, you know what I'm saying? If it looked good, it was protected, you know what I'm saying, gonna work properly, and it only had one light, not as bright, customer's problem. He purchased them, that's what he want, you know what I'm saying? That's what he ordered. Just like if you order a used alternator or a part to put in your car, you put it in your car, and then the car doesn't work, that's your problem, you bought the part. So, but since it was all messed up, I knew it was gonna have problems with this end being exposed, so I had to resolve the problem. So, what I got? What did I get? Let me show you the lights I'm using. So the lights I'm using are the BTF lighting lights. We're using the WS2815 RBG pixels LEDs. So this is you can buy these in, I think 5 meters, 5 meter sections, and it's 300 LEDs per meter. I mean, 100 LEDs per meter, right? Something like that. I don't know. Either way, there's 300 LEDs on these, and you can get them with less LEDs, so it has like 160 LEDs, but the LEDs are just spaced out a little bit more. See, still looks good, still works good, but it doesn't look as good. You know what I'm saying? Because these are going to be more dense light, brighter, but they're going to use more power, obviously. But we know I always hook my stuff up to toggle switches, so we don't have to worry about that when the bike's not running. But if you do, or if you are a member, you've probably seen the video I put out about the battery monitor, tracker thing. But if you're not a member, you probably haven't seen that video yet, or you might have. I don't know if I put it out to the public, but I know the members seen it. So what we're gonna be doing is the connectors I got. So we got the connectors. So some bikes you can see, they have these kind of connectors on their lights. These are not waterproof connectors. So these are not really good connectors. But if you get these connectors here, these are IP65s, which are water resistant. So these are better ones to get. If you got these right here, eventually if you're riding and it gets wet, you can get some corrosion and stuff like that and cause problems. You don't want to have problems. So you want to make sure you try to get, if you're going to be doing this, you want to get the 65s, and they have these in 67. 67 is a little more denser, and it's supposed to be more water resistant, but we're not watering the water. This is not a water product. It's not supposed to be getting the water. Another thing about the connectors is these connectors are the small circles. So the small ones, I actually ordered 2 sets, but I ended up getting a large set, so I'm gonna have to send them back, but I'll show you the difference. You have the small and then a large. If you're looking online and you're looking at the pictures, you're like, what the hell is the difference between the small and large plugs? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be like, what's the difference between the small and large plugs? And this is the difference. This is the difference. These, I can still use these if I wanted to, but they're really not necessary. It's too big. I was gonna use them in the rear of the bike just because I had them, but I'm like, nah, because that causes problems. You're gonna want everything to match up, so if you have to do anything, it's easy to fix, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, like these lights, you can connect these lights when we connect to the wheel rings. We can connect one to the other and then have one plug going to both lights, right? If we do that, if we add one plug going to both lights, then what's gonna happen is if one light goes bad or we have a problem with one light, we're gonna have to replace both lights, or we're gonna have to mess with both lights. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be adding 2 females on the end of these. So it's gonna be 2 females on the end, 2 males going to it. But the males are gonna come from a split wire. So there's gonna be a split wire so it's gonna be one wire going to the brain of the lights, but it's gonna come into 2 because if we have to change a light, or if we have to replace a light, we only gotta replace one light. We don't have to replace both of them. And we're using all the same size things, because if we have any problems, we put a big one on here, and then this, we got to change this, and we only got, you know what I'm saying? It just causes problems to have different sizes. So we want to keep everything simple, the same, right? So Soldering, soldering, soldering. And we'll get to that later. All right, guys, so now if you're looking at the wires here, so we got the two females that we're going to be using, and we got the things here. So first of all, what you want to do is you want to make sure you throw your end pieces on there. We're going to throw these end pieces on there, and we're going to throw some shrink wrap on there for the end. So you want to make sure you get that on there first, because if you don't get that on there, you're going to be upset that you forgot to put that on there. All right, so we get these on there. On there. All right, now that you got those set up, get these out of here. We don't need these right now. We're gonna need those later. All right, so now that we got these set up, we're going to be, so we have to, these silver points here are where you have to connect the wires. That's where you can do your soldering at. And when you putting these on, you have arrows on them. You always have to have the wire connected to the side that the arrow's pointing, so because the lights are gonna run that way. All right, let me get my solder plugged in. All right, so we got our soldering iron plugged in. So for us to do this soldering, we have to get to those pads there. So what I'm gonna do is take this razor and go back to the end of the pad and just throw a slice down it. Just like that, and then I'm gonna just peel the rubber up. And then boom, peel it right off. Boom, you see that? And then we're gonna do the same thing to the other one. Peel that up. And boom. All right, so now those are both ready to be soldered. Actually not, well, yeah. So when you're soldering, the easy way is this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take the solder and we're just gonna heat the solder up and put a little dab on 3 of these. So we're gonna be using this one here, which is the positive, your 12 volt positive. This one here is your data. This one we're not gonna be using. And then this last one is your ground. So those are the 3 ones we're gonna be putting a little dab of solder on and soldering to those ones. But right now we're gonna let our solder iron heat up and find our solder wherever it went. I don't know where it went, but all right, here we go. All right, this is a piece of solder I got left. This is the last piece of, not that I got left, but I got more, but this is from the rest of it from the first batch of solder I had. So what we're gonna do is just wait till the, oh shit. So when you're doing soldering, you wanna make sure you have ventilation. I do have a vent above me, so actually it was just touching my freaking snipper, so it's a little smoky. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna try to put a little dab of solder on each of those. So my solder iron is a little fucked up. Look at the tip. Tip's all messed up. That's because I've been working, you know what I'm saying? So I had ordered new ones, but they're not gonna be here to Friday, and I couldn't wait, and Home Depot was closed. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on there. Dab it right there on there. This is not usually how you do soldering. If I had a good tip, I would just put it on there like so, and then put some heat to it and let it melt on there. For some reason, it keeps building up on my tip, so. because my tips melted like a little freaking cup. All right, let's put a little bit more on this one. All right, boom. So now we just want to do the same thing on the other one. Should probably do the middle one first. That's a nice one right there. There. All right, so boom, got those on there. So now, if you don't have new ones, what you're gonna want to do is tin the tips of these. So what you do is you take the wire, you twist it up, and then you just put a little bit of solder on the end of them. So now, all you gotta do is put them on top of there and push them down, and with a little bit of heat. So we're gonna line these up, try to get them lined up as close as possible to the order I need them in. So just a little easier when I'm putting them on. All right, what I like to do is, I like to turn this around. And what I like to do is I pull the tape back a little bit on the back of this. Pull the tape back a little bit. And then I can just stick it down right on my table like so. All right, now I got my solder. Oh, I lost my solder. Here it is. Got my solder. I don't even need solder actually, because it's already on that. So the wires already got solder on them, and the pads already have solder on it. So we're gonna go red with the 12, and we're just gonna put it on top of there. And once we push it down, the solder should melt and the wire should go right into it. Like boom. Then we're gonna do the second one, same thing. Boom. And then the final one. Boom. So wham bam, thank you ma'am. All right, so there we go. We got all the wires right there soldered up. So before you want to slide this down and glue everything down, you're gonna want to test your stuff. So I have the controller already set up right here. So I already got the controller set up right here. So what I'm gonna do is just plug the wire in and see if it works. Boom. We got a working light. Simple as that. Now we're just gonna slide this rubber down here. So unplug that real quick. You slide this rubber down here over this. So as far as we need it. We're gonna go about right there. And then we take the heat shrink and we go right over the white, right over the rubber thing. Oh shit. Go right over the rubber thing. And now we heat the heat shrink. All right, now as we heat the heat shrink, we have the silicone here. This silicone came with these end pieces. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put the top on here and you're just gonna shoot the silicone down inside there, and then you're finito. But right, not technically finished yet. You're gonna put now you're gonna wanna put the end on the end. So we're just gonna wait to squirt the ones in the inside, because I gotta cut the tip off of this and use this nozzle. So I wanna make sure I use the nozzle. I don't want the nozzle to get clogged up while I do this one, then solder this one together and the nozzle get clogged up. So we're gonna wait to do that one just for a minute. But what it is just, we'll do the end of this one. We'll do the finished side of this one. Just throw a little bit in there. Boom. And then you just slide it on. And let her dry. So that's one light done. And now let's peel this back real quick. Boom. Flip it. It's just a little easier to control like this way. Since I'm a righty. So we go to red to positive. Red, yellow, black. I don't know if y'all see me just touch my keyboard with the solder iron. Boom. All right, now. We'll test. She's working. Hmm?
Something just launched out and Mommy can't find it.
Something launched out and Mommy can't find it?
Yeah.
What, your tooth?
Yeah. Look at
The bottom one?
Listen.
Sheesh.
I have 3 different tooths, my friend. We are trying to get it off of this tooth, and because it's split, it couldn't handle enough.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Kind of hurts.
Well, guys, so there you go. You just seen me do the lights real quick. Now I just got to put them on the wheel rings. See, Cammy just lost her tooth. She had to come down and tell me. Yep. She lost like 4 teeth like in the last like 2 months. But thanks for watching, guys. Check you in the next one. Peace.
Bye.